I could actually show slides, one slide of what is going on nationally. So we created this reporting center, and without any publicity, we got a huge response, and we've received over 1,500 reports already in just a month of Asian Americans sharing their own personal experiences. So on the chat, you may say, oh, this hasn't happened to me, and so maybe it's not so bad, but I don't think you have to personally experience to recognize what your brother and sister may be going through. 1,500 cases are just a tip of the iceberg, and we've received reports from 45 states. And so people, Asian Americans, want to share their story, and we're using their story to develop a collective voice and to work with policymakers. But to quickly sort of tell you about what's going on in the Asian American community overall, we're getting verbally harassed and shunned a lot. And it's not microaggressions, they're worse than microaggressions, because if you read the incidents, the hate is really virulent, it's really palpable, it's really disturbing. A lot of times children and elderly are present, there are racial slurs used, and I think it's pretty traumatizing, so that a lot of people don't know how to respond. They're just sort of stunned because you don't expect an adult to just yell at you. Another large number of the cases are civil rights violations. So people are being treated differently in the workplace. They may not be allowed to go into a restaurant or a store, or they're not being picked up by Uber or Lyft. And so those are actually, again, legal issues that you could sue. The third main category is physical. That rises to the level of hate crime, that people are having things thrown at them, rocks, bottles. A family in Texas, a refugee family were mistaken to be Chinese and were slashed. The kids were slashed in the head. And so these physical assaults, I think it's just a matter of time before an Asian American actually dies because of an anti-Asian incident. And in a large percent of the cases, we're getting coughed and spat upon. So I think this is really unique to the pandemic, that people see us as being the disease carrier and infecting others, so they want to fight back by infecting us. And it's sort of a weird response, but it's very dehumanizing. It's a public health threat, and it can be terrorism. One East Coast person produce and coughed on a white cashier, and he got arrested for terrorism. So you could case that Asian Americans are experiencing mass terrorism because we're getting coughed on and spat upon so much. So I don't take these incidents lightly. And again, even if you may not have experienced it, or it happens in your location, 90% of Asian Americans now racial bias. And so it's a pervasive issue. I'm glad we're talking about it today, because it really does need to be addressed, and especially by the church.